Next Radio with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.
Morning, folks. As thrilling as it is to hear my name announced in a way that hasn't been done since Bath FM Breakfast in 2003, this is a joint presentation. So Ryan Rummery from Global is your guide for the next 5 minutes, and I shall be back. Please welcome Ryan.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, guys. Morning, everyone. Hey. So, programmatic advertising, why should we care? A really exciting subject to talk about. So, first I'm going to start by defining what we mean by programmatic. So, what is programmatic advertising? Got a definition up here. So, ultimately, it's the automation of the buying process. So, rather than manual insertion orders, we're using technology and ultimately machines to buy ads. So as a business, why should we care? And as an industry, why should we care? From a digital display perspective, by 2016, 70% of all digital display advertising will be bought programmatically. That's up from just under 60% this year and 45% the previous year. So it's already here, it's happening, it's mainstream. It's how advertisers want to access our audiences. So we need to create the right environment and use the right technology and capabilities to allow this. So we take the smartphone, we talk about digital audio, the connected listener. Mobile is a big part of this connected listener because people want to access our content wherever they are, on the go. We actually think about time spent. So listening to music is the third most popular thing that people do on their mobile phones. That's behind web browsing and social. But when you actually delve a little bit deeper into actual advertising revenue, that's what I'm here today talking about, the revenue, the dirty numbers. We look at it slightly different. In terms of advertising revenue, there's a big question mark over digital audio. The reason being because this market is new, it's nascent, it's fragmented. So actually the IAB ad spend study, there is not a number against digital audio, which is why it's so important, so exciting for our industry. It's an untapped opportunity. So when I mention digital audio, ultimately the definition of this is audio content streamed across connected devices. And we break that into 3 different categories. Live radio, which obviously we're all familiar with in this room. Music streaming. There's over 50 licensed streaming services in the UK. So it's a very fragmented market, very difficult for advertisers to access. And then you've got the growth of on-demand, so podcasting. And more publishers producing more and more audio content from Sky, from Telegraph to The Guardian. This space is growing massively, and the likes of Audio Boom and SoundCloud bring so much content to this area. So what I mentioned, 17 million people stream digital audio every week. We've got a massive market. We've got the right audience, and we've got the right technology. So what have we done about this? We've launched a product called DAX, which is the Digital Audio Exchange. Very basically and top line, this brings over 145 publishers and streaming services into one centralized buying platform to make it easy for advertisers to access at scale. So using the DAX network, we can target and pinpoint specific audiences to target your relevant audience from an advertising perspective. So that's the top line. So how does it actually work? You'll all be very familiar with this slide. We've taken the liberty of using capital in this example, but you could insert brand here. So you look at the content. You get the content, traditional, then the ad break comes. Traditional radio, everybody will hear that ad at that time. Say a Ford ad, they'll all be exposed. That same, doesn't matter who you are, if you're a male, if you're a female, whatever specific audience you are, you'll hear that same ad. When we talk about digital audio, because it's a connected listen, your IP connection, you can use that programmatic technology to insert a relevant ad to the right audience at the right time. So you may be a male, you may be a female, you might be an auto intender, or you might be a technology person. The technology allows you to target those specific people at the right time. And it's not just our brands, it's not just global brands and radio brands. As I mentioned before, it's the same process for the likes of Ministry of Sound, who are also part of the DAX network. You get your playlists, you then insert your advertisement in between, depending on who you are, what your preference is. If you're male, female, you will get a specific ad. And that's why it's so exciting. We've got the ability to be really specific in the targeting of who we target and when we target them. So I'm going to pass you on to Neil now, who's going to explain how we can use the advantage of this massive opportunity for digital audio and how it can be very creative. Now, there's a massive creative opportunity here, and we'd like to take full advantage of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. So it's fantastic technology. I don't pretend to understand all of it. What excites me and what should excite you is the creative possibilities of this. I'm from RadioWorks. We make radio advertising, but I'm also now from Digital Audio Works, and I'll explain that a bit in a minute too. Think about targeting. Think about how right now we write ads for Classic FM and XFM. We might put the same advertiser on those platforms and vary the way we talk to them. This is no longer targeting. This is personalizing your advertising. Think about how you might make an ad for someone who loves cars versus someone who doesn't. Someone who owns their own house versus someone who doesn't. A gay person versus a straight person. An introverted person versus an extroverted person. That's the possibility of what we have here with the data that we can obtain. And it might be a subtle change in language. It might be a subtle change in voiceover choice or music direction. But these are the sorts of things DAX and other digital audio platforms and programmatic advertising allow us to do. Here's a quick example of something that RadioWorks produced a little while ago.
Hello, pretty ears. Listening to a bit of sensual R&B about love, feelings and gemstones, are we? Turn the lights down low when you hear slow jams. Watch out. Your pocket moisturizer's showing. Not really. But listening to this stuff means you've got a sensitive, caring side and delicate taste buds, which only means one thing. You'll like your chicken with our gentle lemon and herb peri-peri. Find yourself at Nando's. Soft cheeks! Discover more on Facebook.
That's quite a primitive use of it, actually. But so that runs on Spotify, and what that does is just choose the genre, changes the advert according to the genre of music that you're listening to. Spotify can do that now, not a problem. In the future, we won't have to infer what likes and dislikes you have according to your choice of music, because we'll know. Because we'll take the third-party data and we'll make it work for us. And that's a different level of personalization. Here's something else that we've been developing, and by developing I mean it's got my own voice on it, for the British Heart Foundation. Have you finished your breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay. Good girl.
Where could we go today?
Where do you want to go today?
Could I go on my new bike?
Okay, well, Daddy's got to do some jobs, and
Heart disease is heartless. It strikes without warning, tearing families apart. But with your help, the British Heart Foundation's life-saving research could end the devastation. Donate now. Search online for British Heart Foundation.
So when we use that sort of targeting, if you're like me, you're nearly 40 and you've got 3 kids, you're going to hear that. And the sequential as well. So sequential allows us to do a whole series of adverts, and you only hear the second one once you've heard the first one, and we can take you on that journey that follows your listening and gives you the ads appropriately. So what we're doing is we're thinking about what this implication has for voice artists, for music rights, all sorts. It changes radio from being a blunt instrument to being a cruise missile, a laser-guided missile to the audience. That's why we should care. That's why it's exciting. And that's why we formed Digital Audio Works as an offshoot of RadioWorks. And we will be launching that in the next month or so. I hope you're as excited about it as I am, because this changes how we can talk to our audience and also how you can get your revenue in. Thank you very much.
Next.